Fox News' Charlie Langton with more on how they plan to fix the problems. Charlie.
I'll tell you, fixing the problem is going to be very difficult. But as you just heard, Warren Evans declaring the state of emergency, so to speak, a public health emergency at the detention facility in Dickerson. That's where the juveniles go. Now, it's important to know here that detention versus treatment. What do I mean by that? If a juvenile today gets arrested, they go to the Dickerson detention facility. But those, we'll call them juveniles, should only be there between 14 and 21 days. Then they go in front of a judge, and a judge would say, basically, you have to get some treatment. They're out at that point of the Wayne County detention facility, or should be. But the state of Michigan, the whole state, only has 500 beds for those juveniles that have already been adjudicated. So what are they going to do? How many do they have? They only have 160 now in the whole state. So what are they doing? They're keeping them in the facility, the detention facility. And Wayne County says, we're not equipped. We're a detention, short term, not long term. What are they going to do? The Senate held a hearing today. Here's a couple of things. Here's what they said.
We went from 400 or 500 beds down to 160. If those beds are not online, we have nowhere to send the kids for treatment.
The fact of the matter is, as Deputy County Executive Turfy shared, that's not our responsibility to provide.
So what are the problems inside of the juvenile detention facility?
How long are these youth locked up in their rooms per day, considering your staff shortages?
Yes, unfortunately, considering the situation that we're in, they're locked up most of the day. We do have gang activity in there. We do have co-defendants, and we need to keep them separate.
What is the solution?
But if supporting some of the most vulnerable kids in our state is not priority number one, then I have to ask what is.
All right, so you heard a couple of the testimony. By the way, that hearing is still going on right now. Yeah. So it just started about 4 o'clock, so it's going to go on for a little while. But here's the deal. There's also, besides the overcrowding and the safety and the staffing issues, there's a sexual assault of a 12-year-old kid that happened not too long ago. Michigan State Police investigating that one, and 7 workers are suspended. They said today at the hearing they likely will be let go. That's one problem. Now, how much is it going to cost? For the treatment, remember, Wayne County detention, only short time, 14 to 21 days until they can get to a judge. And when the judge orders treatment, that's not the county anymore, it's the state, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. But because there's no place to put these kids, they're staying in the facility. So what we need really, or what they, not anyway, what they said, they need more beds from the state to put these people that have already been adjudicated, already went to court. And the judge said you should be in a facility, secure facility. But that comes from the state, not the county. By the way, it's $150 million. So it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's not a quick fix either if you have to build more facilities. But in the meantime, we heard that one of the kids, stayed there 800 days.
800 days.
And he wasn't even supposed to. That's a whole prison situation almost.
Right. And the weird thing about that, they stay the 800 days. Now, many of them are less than a year, but so what? It's a long time. They don't get any treatment. They don't. These are juveniles. These are 13, 14, 15 years old. That a judge said should get treatment, rehabilitation. In the adult system, we put people in prison for punishment for the most part. But in juveniles, the idea is we treat them. We give them services. We want to rehabilitate them. But when they're in the detention facility, they get nothing.
Well, Charlie, right now there's a supersized surplus sitting in the state. The governor knows that. The legislature knows that. The Democrats are in charge. If they want to do something about that, $150 million is more like a drop in the bucket than it is the surplus. So maybe they can do something.
I think it's going to take a couple more hearings to get to $150 million. But something's got to happen because, as I said, it's a public health emergency.
Yeah, and it's not just kids, it's adults too. So, all right, thanks, Charlie.